and we've got just enough room to get out there. All right, guys, this is super cool. So here's our starting farm. There's a lot more to explain. Let's go ahead and start heading out there now because we got a ways to go. It's way out in the country. Today, we're starting the Homesteader Challenge in Farming Simulator 25. This is a new series starting a farm from scratch with a set of rules that make up the challenge. So here are the rules and allowances for the Homesteader Challenge. Number 1. You start with a large piece of land with zero money. 2. The land can have a field, but no buildings to start. 3. You only have the equipment that you can take out to the land in one single trip. 4. No bank loans are allowed. 5. You can do contracts for money and use any borrowed tools for the contract, but you must use your own tractor. And 6. You can lease equipment as needed or finance its purchase with the appropriate mod. Now, due to starting with literally zero money and having to build your farm from scratch, it's a good idea to spend some time molding and setting up a mod loadout that will allow you to start growing with some reasonably affordable buildings and equipment. Use your own judgment, and it's actually really fun setting all this up and planning. That's really it for the rules of the Homesteader Challenge. For this series, we're on the 4X map of Judith Plains, Montana. We're starting with only the equipment on this trailer and the tractor pulling it, and we're on our way out to a 22-acre sorghum field. Start our homestead. Guys, we're here in Judith Plains, Montana. It's a map in Farming Simulator 25. And today we're doing a challenge that I came up with. I'm going to call this the Homestead Challenge. I probably had an intro before this video that describes it all because I might not do the best here because we're doing this unscripted. We're starting the Homestead Challenge, right? So basically what we're doing is I just started here on the map. It's August, day 1. Just doing this on 1-day months. We have $0. So here's how the challenge works. We got $0. We got one piece of land, and that's why I'm calling it the Homestead Challenge. We got a piece of land and $0, and we can only have the equipment that we can haul out there in one trip. And that's it. Now, obviously, we can do anything we want to make as much money and, do contracts and buy more equipment. In fact, that's kind of the whole point of the thing. But we can only use the equipment that we can take out there in one trip, which I've got arranged for us here. I'll go through that. I think it's a fun challenge. You might want to try it yourself. I designed it to be fun. There's more to it, okay? So $0, and we're not allowed to take any loans. No loans ever. So that means that we can only get money from contracts or selling product. Now, there's some quality of life things that I do have enabled here, which I think are fine for the challenge. For instance, we have a mod that allows financing of vehicles. So if I want a $400,000 tractor, I don't necessarily need to have $400,000, right? I could finance it at X amount per month. We just need to make sure we can make the payments. I think financing is a great quality of life addition that they should have put in the game from the start. But yeah, but no loans, right? So anyway, enough about that. We'll work on some more of the rules as we go along, although I may have laid it out. I may have scripted and laid out a good intro, but which you would have already seen, of course. So here's the equipment I've got for us. We got 2 tractors, basically 2 tractors, some attachments. Okay. We're going to run with a Fendt 500 and this little Fendt 300. I think they're cool, cute little tractors. I always liked the Fendt Farmer 300. I always liked it. Just this tractor in particular, I always liked it ever since FS19. So here it is. The Fendt 500 has front loader. We've got this little guy here that we can use to pick up things with straps. We've got a manure scoop fork. And we've got a bucket. I think this is a great selection. The strappies, this will allow us to pick up basically anything, including these. It's how we're going to get these out there. This is great for scooping up grass, straw, silage, anything like that. Plus, it can be used to pick up pallets. It can be used like forks, or it can be used like a bale spike. This is, I've always say in my videos, this is like the best multi-purpose front loader attachment right here. And then a bucket for moving fill types like grain and stuff like that, and fertilizer and whatnot. All right, a mower. We're gonna need a mower. I imagine we'll have a lot of grass work ahead of us, especially just starting out. I think a mower seems good. This is a good mower that I picked out. I hope it's good. I haven't used it yet. Looks good to me. I think almost all of this is from mods that I downloaded, specifically for this challenge. I designed this challenge, and I said, okay, well, yeah, this is all like fine-tuned for this, and also the buildings we'll be using. that's definitely with the rules. You know, if you're going to do this challenge, tailor your mod loadout to it, make it more fun. So I picked all this stuff out. This trailer, so this is the trailer. So all of this stuff has to fit on this trailer. It will. And then fertilizer spreader and a seeder. The reasoning behind that is there's some stuff that we'll be able to buy on day one just from doing some contracts. Look, it's only 8:43 in the morning on August. We've got all day to do contracts. And again, it's only 1 day a month, so the time's going to move fast. This is a 4X map here in Judith Plains, Montana. It's no joke, big. There's work to be had everywhere. This would be a good place for it. Yeah, I want the feeling of, homestead, right? So we're going to have a big piece of land in a big, big country. And Montana is the best place for that. What do you see where we're going to be living? Huge, yeah, big sky country, literally all around. It's going to be gorgeous. It's going to dwarf our little tiny farm, our machines. I picked a fertilizer and a seeder because I thought to myself, a lot of equipment we can get. Oh, wait. Oh, there's a couple more things I meant to have on our loadout here. Let me get that here. Okay, I gave us some money. I gave us just enough money to get 2 of these. 1 for each tractor. We have to have these because we can't even pull that seeder. We can't even move the seeder with that small little tractor without a front weight. Okay, now we're back to 0. All right, I gave myself $3,100 just to get that. I put my money back at 0. Fertilizer and the seeder, because a lot of this stuff would be easy to pick up. Like, for instance, there's no cultivator here, no disc harrow, but I can get one of those really cheap. There's no windrower here. I can get a cheap windrower. Seeder and fertilizer spreader, these are 2 things. We can get both of these out there. We can pack these on one of those tractors and stuff it on that trailer. These are 2 expensive items. So this is the fun part of the challenge, is choosing your loadout. Choose your loadout wisely. I chose to start with these 2 things. These are 2 things that would be expensive to pick up afterwards. The things we don't have here, we can pick up pretty easily. You see where I'm going with this. All right, and these two little weights still fit on the back of the tractor there. So that's kind of the reasoning behind everything we've got here. I'm going to get this stuff loaded up, and we'll be heading out in just a minute. Oh, wow. This little tractor just barely moves with this, but we're going to get this loaded on there. The fertilizer on the front is just enough to offset this. Okay, we just about got everything loaded. I forgot I need to put these weights on the trailer, and that other tractor is used up, so I had to detach this. All right. So we got the little Fent loaded up there with the fertilizer spreader, the seeder. We got those 2 weights. We're carrying this stuff up front with this tractor here. And so yeah, here's the fun part. I think it's one of the first fun parts of the challenge is you get 1 trip to take your equipment out there. So yeah, you get to play a little creative Tetris on your trailer, trying to fit everything you can. It's like, where you could see it's like one of those shopping sprees, right? Where in those game shows where they put you in the supermarket and they say that, you know, whatever you can fit in your cart, right? I'm kind of carefully going to attach this. Of course, I tested this out. I mean, yeah, this took some work to find the exact equipment that I wanted. I definitely spent some time before this video finding the exact equipment I wanted, picking this all out, and of course I knew it would fit. Yeah, well, that's part of the fun of this. If you're going to do this, take your time. Take your time choosing the right equipment. It's part of the fun. Let's restrap that, put these ramps up, and we've got just enough room to get out there. All right, guys, this is super cool. So here's our starting farm. There's a lot more to explain. Let's go ahead and start heading out there now because we got a ways to go. It's way out in the country. I'll show you the piece of land I picked out for us, actually, for this farm. So we're here on Judith Plains, Montana, 4X by DJ Modding. You probably played on some of his maps before, like over here on the left side of the screen, you can see I've played on several of these. He's known for high quality maps. Anyway, we are going to this field right here. You can see I already purchased it. So it's a pretty good sized field. It's a really big field, actually. And that's part of it. It's the homestead challenge, right? Like in the old days, in old west of America, you get 40 acres and for next to nothing, you build the house, you build the farm, you run it. That's basically what we're doing here, right? So here we've got, let's see, it's a sorghum field. I'll get to that in a second here. So basically almost 9 hectares. So that's like a little over 20 acres, something like that. I don't know, do the math, 22 acres, something like that. The point is, so 9 hectares. So the reason I chose that one, I scouted a lot of this out. And if you're going to do this, take your time, right? I scouted this out. I found a beautiful field in a great place. I wanted it semi-close to the town, but I wanted another part was the crop that's planted there. I'm starting here in August, and when I scouted this map out, I was going to use a different field. Well, when I decided, okay, let's do this, you know, the fields are different now because it's a different game. I started a new game. Fields are different. I had to change my plans. Sorghum. So we can't harvest it this month. Let's go ahead and start heading out there. I'm going to show you where we're going, all right? So we can't harvest it this month. It's going to be a slow trip out there. Can't harvest it till next month. But this is all we have, and which means we got to park our machinery somewhere. We got to sleep somewhere. There's no buildings out there, by the way. There's no buildings. That's just the field, guys. It's a 9-hectare field with nothing on it. This is a homestead, which means we're going to have to clear out some of the crop and build us a house to sleep in, which we can't afford right now. No, that's right. So we're going to have to do a contract. We want to head out this way here. Now, anyway, so we're going to have to do a contract so that we can buy a house. Of course, I've got some cheap housing options ready to go for the map. And we're going to have to also do a contract so that next month we can lease a harvester and harvest the field. So there's no loans allowed. I want to go over some of the rules. There's more rules that maybe I didn't get to. There's no loans allowed, but we can absolutely lease vehicles, you know, absolutely. So we'll be leasing a harvester to harvest the field for us. I don't want to do that in the future. I don't want to make a rule I don't want to make a bunch of rules, but I'll just, you know, for me personally, I'm going to try, you know, I'm going to have my own next year, okay? I don't want to make a bunch of stupid rules. Okay, we're going way down this road. Now you see why I chose this map in this area of this map here. When we get out there, yeah, you've got this great feeling of, yeah, well, we are in Montana. We are in the frontier land of America where homesteading as we Americans know it was a thing. So there's that. So, I'm trying to think here. There's definitely more rules about stuff. There's the basic rules being starting with zero money, not taking loans. You can lease equipment. See, I want to think here. I don't want to edit this out. I want you all to see the drive out there. It's pretty cool. There's lots of great scenery all the way out there. This map is available. Ooh. It's not on the Mod Hub, and it's only for PC. So I apologize in advance for that. If you wanted to play here and you're not on PC, I can have a link to it in the description below. Oh, there was another important rule I wanted to mention. I guess it'll come to me. It was in relation to, it was a fairly important one, which again, oh yeah, I will have had all these in the intro, because like I knew I'd forget stuff as I went along here. Now, normally when you start here on this map, this right here is normally your starting farm. I started the map on New Farmer. Yeah, I started on New Farmer, I guess, but I started with no farm. Had I started with a starting farm, I would have owned that. It's the farm you start off owning. But yeah, I chose no farm. We're going to keep going for our field. So, doing contracts is going to be necessary. So we'll rent a harvester to harvest the field. It is our land, so we do keep the sorghum. We'll keep the sorghum that we harvest off of it, but of course we don't have a place to put the sorghum right now. We're going to have to figure that out. So we get to figure out, well, you know, where do we put it? Such like that. Is this our field here? No, I don't think this is our field. This is sorghum, but this is not our field. I'm going to keep going down here. I'm running some other mods for realism. I'm not running, oh, what's it called? Oh, darn. I forget now what it's called. Precision farming. Oh, geez, I'm glad I thought of that. I'm not running precision farming. I'm running realistic weather. The reason I want to run realistic weather, I like some of the things, some of the changes it does. It's kind of a fairly big overhaul mod. I've not tried it with precision farming. I'm not sure the two would work together, so I don't want to try running them together. So I'm running realistic weather, which is part of why you see such huge tooltips here, because it figures in moisture and all kinds of other stuff. I don't know if it'd play well with precision farming. If you do know, let me know in the comments down below. So here's our field. We're going to pick a place back here, and we're going to set up our farm. We got all our equipment out here. We'll find a place to set up the tractors. I guess for starters, we'll get to this here. We got a mower. I guess we're going to have to, I'll go as gentle as I can, but we're going to have to clear out a spot because we have to have a house so that we can rest until next month. So I'm going to take this stuff back here, find us a place, and maybe I'll remember the other rules I was going to say. All right, so kind of the rule that I was trying to think of that I had forgotten is in relation to contracts. Contracts are going to be a big part of making money here at the start, so it's very important that we have good rules around that as to preserve challenge, but still also make it fun and allow an availability of jobs that you can do. We can't be expected to have all the equipment we need to take any contract, but we need to be able to take some contracts. So here's the way that I think it should work. Well, here's how I'm going to work it here, and I think this is good balance. You can take contracts and you can borrow the equipment. You can rent the equipment for the contract, but you have to use your tractors, right? So that means we could take a baling contract, which is probably something we'll do. It sounds like a good way to start off. We could take a baling contract, a bale wrapping contract, and use their equipment, but we have to use our tractors. That way, and that's going to go the same with harvesters, right? So no harvesting contracts because we don't have a harvester. That way, there's still a challenge. That way you're not, see, we have nothing here. We own nothing except this stuff here. It wouldn't seem right to take a contract and drive someone's $2 million harvester to harvest the field, and then we come home with like $20,000 payment. That doesn't seem right. So, but at the same time, we can't be required to own a baler and a tedder and everything for every situation for any contract. We can't be expected for that either, right? Yeah, you see that. So that's how the contracts are going to work. We can rent the equipment, but we have to use our machines. So any contract, this tractor right here has 150 horsepower. This has 112. So any contract with a big machine, well, we can only pull it with this tractor. So that's how that's going to work. Let's get this stuff unloaded. I guess, well, I figured we put the farm somewhere kind of like at the back, maybe not all the way at the back, but somewhere in the back portion of the field. I think having the farm, we'll just field this out as we go, somewhere around here, and then I want to have like backyard. I want to have like a back field. This of course will be divided up. For starters, this will be divided up probably into several fields and things like that, and we may combine it and move stuff around as the farm grows. I think that's the fun part of doing this, this whole idea here. So let's get this stuff, I'm going to at least get the stuff unloaded. So this should be fun. Unstrap that stuff. Okay, we got to take to take the weights off. So we're going to have to detach this. We'll drop off our, all our stuff here. Drop off our mower right here. Now this stuff here, this is a pretty tricky way of picking this stuff up. Allowed me to carry the maximum amount of things here. First we'll drop these guys off there. This guy is great. It's great for picking up bags or, well, anything. Literally anything, as you can imagine. Anything that could be strapped, we can pick up with this guy. Easy way to pick up, pallets if you're not a fan of scooping them up with forks. And we got a pretty big field to work with these small tractors. I think it's going to be fun. Yeah, this field it's big. At 9 hectares, it's definitely large. I'd say it's about the size of a large field on most maps. Most maps aren't going to have many fields over this size. This being a 4X map, there's fields here that are really big, but not incredibly huge. This is a good map with good balance. The large fields here are kind of basically between 10 and 30 hectares. There's no insanely large fields here like some maps have. All right, so let's get these weights off. Let's drop... well, we're going to have to... Yep, we got to clear some space in our field, so no better place than right here. Get some space cleared. We'll get this cleared out for now. We'll just kind of... Yep, some crop is just going to have to be culled for the farm space. Start off right here. We'll drop these weights off, or at least the back one. Drop the back one off here. I'll attach that with the little 300. And he's ready to come off the trailer, I think. Yeah, I do want to have as little space here as possible that's eaten out of the field. I'll come through with the mower and cut this down. But, yeah, it had to be done. I ideally wanted a field, and I would say ideally, yeah, pick a field with wheat or oats or something that could be harvested, you know, or canola that could be harvested, you know, in August, or simply start in a later month. Or there's that, or start in a later month. I could have done either one of those. This tractor's loud. I like the sound of the tractor. It's got a unique sound, but it is loud. But with, you know, anytime you start a new map, it randomizes the fields depending on the map, of course. And here it randomized the fields in such a way that I wanted a good square field about this size, decent proximity to the store. There was no real good choices. And I said, well, sorghum, I only got to wait 1 month. I could have waited and not started until next month. But I said, no, screw it. It's August. I'm going to start in August. So I'll have to start before I can harvest the field. Okay. I mean, this is a challenge, right? So there we go. We're going to drop off. Let's park over here. We have to clear out a little more space. We're going to have to drop off the cedar first. I mean, we're clearing out some space, but this is absolutely insignificant next to the size of this field. Let's drop that off. That's a heavy, heavy guy. We're going to have to fill these. Of course, these are not filled. I thought about filling them. I could have, you know, because the rule is whatever you can fit on the trailer. I thought about filling those. However, this little tractor could barely drive with those things up the ramp of the trailer. I had to take that into consideration. I'm not sure the added weight of the seeds and fertilizer. I'm not sure this little tractor could even move. All right, so that's basically everything off of that. Let's park this here next to this tractor. I'll get the mower out and get some of this cleared out. Okay, I got us a little spot cleared here, and I even set us up a little tent. Now, got all this. I think this is a decent space I got cleared out for us here in our field. It's already looking, I love this. Look at this view. Look at this view. This is what I had in mind with the Homestead Challenge. This is what I love about American maps. We have all of this glorious beauty around us. And right now, it's just a tent. Now, I've got some, turn the HUD back on. I was just enjoying the beauty of it. I've got some wooden sheds that we can build. That said, so yeah, when you start a challenge like this, and I've mentioned this already, definitely, there was definitely some thought put into the mod loadout that I'm using for the game. Definitely give yourself a challenge. Don't cheat, but allow yourself some things that you can get cheaply. For instance, yeah, this tent. I'm like, hey, we're going to need a place to live that with basically no cost to start off with. Tent. I got some cheap buildables that we could build. Like if we look at sheds, like right here, I got some little $2,500 sheds that we could use, right? That we could build. Once we do some contracts, of course, we could build this stuff to house our machinery, stuff like that. I haven't really seen how big or small these are. Well, our tent's really small. These aren't that big. They just look big because that's a little tiny tent. But anyway, these are some small sheds that I got that we could build. Definitely so, yeah. Set up your mods to give yourself challenge, but also equipment that you can, you know, actually afford to start off with. Anyway, so I got, that's what we can do. We got this cleared up here. We got at least a place to sleep. I allowed that. I allowed a place to sleep. But if we want, here, let's get our tractors moved in here. Or at least one. Let's get this out of the way. But if we want to, yeah, buy anything else, we have to do contracts. Speaking of contracts, let's get started with the contract, and I'll think if there's anything else as we go along that I might want to add in or mention or anything like that. But this is the start to our little homestead here. I love this, just this view. This view is epic. This figured into part of why I chose this field. I wanted one that wasn't too far from town. I wanted some buildings in the distance there. You can see the default starting farm and over there. If we went down just a little bit farther, we'd see a grain elevator. Down there, of course, we have those buildings. And there's a road by one side of this field, but not by the others. You know, I wanted it to feel hopelessly out in the country, but still only a couple minutes from town. And that's what we've got right here. Let's get started with a contract. We've got 0 monies. Let's get started with the contract. So what do we have available? Okay. So there's a baling contract. Those would be great to start off with. See, that could make us 8 grand. How big is the field? 3 hectares, decent sized. What else we got? So we could do baling, either one of those with the rules that we have, right? We can't do harvesting. We can't do fertilizing because we'd have to buy the fertilizer and we don't have any money. So those are out unless we had money, which we don't. Harvesting's out because we don't have a harvester. Irrigation, this is probably just because I have realistic weather mod, which does make irrigation a thing. As also, you will see that water tab in the left hand of my screen. So yeah, if you're wondering what's irrigation, it's because the realistic weather mod. We can't do rock removal because we don't have a skid steer to operate the thing. So looks like the only things we can do are baling. All right, so where are we baling? Let's pick this one. That's $8,800. That's just enough to get something. Man, I was hoping there'd be more contracts. Beggars can't be choosers. Field 50. So what we're going to want to do is definitely borrow items. We've got 15 hours left in that. Good, I should have checked that. 15 hours. Field 50, is that what it said? I think it's down, yep, here. All right, and we're up here. Not bad because, oh, look, there's our little house out in the field. All right, so we got to go through town to get down there anyway to catch that highway down there. And town is where I assume, where the baler is going to be, should be at the shop. Yeah, it should be at that shop. Well, I hope so. That's where we're going to go. We're going to go take our tractor down there, pick that baler up, head down to field 50. All right. I guess we'll want to put a road in here. That'd be our responsibility too. Yeah, and I did want to, I wanted to have everything in such a way that we'd have to put in our own road. I got this idea of homesteading where we buy this piece of land. In this case, we have a field. You may not, that's not a requirement. You could have a not already developed field. I thought that would be fun to have the field, but you don't have to. But I wanted a plot of land that was not necessarily right next to the road, although I could have built our house here, but I wanted to be away from the road because I wanted the fun of building a road, building a road out to the road. I want to feel like we're actually building a homestead out in the countryside of Montana. So I'm hoping that it put that baler down here at the store. It's a pretty long drive, as you already saw, so I'm going to meet you guys down at the store. We'll pick up our baler. Yeah, it's a couple minutes to get to town here. So there wasn't that other baling contract. I took this one because it paid far less. I forget, but the other one paid, well, we can check here. Here in a minute, we'll check. The other one paid way more, meaning it's going to be a much larger field. I picked the one for us that I did because, yeah, I figured it's a more manageable size field. However, that said, I had plenty of time to think on the long drive over here, and I was thinking that of all of the contracts that are available, we can only take like 3 of them, right? So is the baler out here? Okay, good. It is. Okay. I was like, oh my gosh, what's that tractor? Never mind. That's their, yeah, we're not using their tractor, of course. I might take that other huge baling job because there's only so many contracts we can do. We've got to have at least enough money to rent a harvester, which I've already looked. That will cost about it says $3,800. Figure in for maybe a little more for some extra charge somewhere, because we'll probably have to rent, well, we'll see when the time comes, but, we might, I don't know. Oh, I just thought of, well, I was going to say, we don't have a trailer. Well, we're going to have to try to buy a trailer. I'd rather not rent stuff unless I absolutely have to. So I might do that other big baling contract. Trailers. Oh, not trailers. Here. This right here is what I was going to show you. Keep an eye on this. Yeah, during this challenge, keep an eye here. This is going to be your best friend, I imagine. Unfortunately, we didn't win the luck of the draw this month. But yeah, I was hoping there'd be a cheap trailer or something there like that. So we've got, what is that other here? The other one, oh, there's a bale wrapping contract. Oh, where's that? Field 93. Oh, how come I didn't see that? Was that not there? I sure didn't see it. I'm going to go ahead and just borrow items for that right now. I'm going to snag that right now before that disappears, if that's even a thing. I want that. Bale wrapping, that's really chill work. I like to do that. Our tractor can do that. This one here, that's right next door to it. Oh, you know, guys, yeah. So this is going to be, what do you think? It's a much bigger field. It's a lot of baling, some long hours out there. That's some good starting money. That's some good starting money for our farm. Wow, our farm's going to have a pretty good start. I don't know. What do you think? It's right by it. I can think on that one. Well, the only reason I didn't jump on it, it's right there by that field. The only reason I didn't jump on it is I like some challenge, and that would be a lot of money. That'd be starting off with a lot of money. I mean, that's all well and good, but as it is, we got about 15 grand in contracts here. That'd be another 20,000. That's starting our first month off with $35,000 just doing contracts. I don't want to feel like I'm cheating. And I think I made the rules just restrictive enough and very fair. You know, I'm going to pull up the map. Usually, if you watch the channel here, you see I often, in fact, usually play with the map off. This is a big, huge map I'm not completely familiar with yet, so yeah. Oh, there's people there in the, yeah, there's definitely people on this map. Sorry about that, sir. Go ahead. We're going to head down to field 50. I'm going to give that some thought if I'm going to bail on the other one. I think it'd be silly not to do it just because, well, I don't know. It's like, at the same time, we're going to need that money for various things. And also, $35,000 doesn't exactly buy a lot. That would buy a tipper, right? That would buy a tipper. Of course, as I mentioned, you know, about choosing mods for the challenge, we've got a decent selection of affordable items of all ranges around, you know, across the board. This particular save game here, I loaded this game with 133 mods. I got 133 mods loaded of various all kinds. Some are scripts, some are gameplay changes, some, I mean, there's all kinds, but a lot of them are equipment that would be good for the playthrough. But anyway, I'll probably take the other contract and just be very busy baling this month. For now, let's get down there to field 50. There's some beautiful views on this map. So we're driving down there. You have this, there's a couple of these really huge bridges like we have here. I think we're getting close to it. I have my HUD off just because I'm getting some cool footage here and it looks really pretty. I think I know about where we're at. Should be kind of up here. Now, one thought I had about this, there's the other baling job in the adjacent field. And yeah, definitely always check this, is the kind of bales that are required. See, if we take another baling contract, we could do it without renting the equipment, right? And use this baler for both. And since both fields are next to one another, you know, we could do both if they required the same baler. You always want to, you know, you want to check that. We could do both back to back without renting more equipment. I'll have to check that and see. Let's go ahead and turn this back on. I don't think we're quite down there yet. I think it's, let me see. I better check. I have not looked at the map since I started down here. It's been a few minutes I've been driving. Always use your maps, kids. Always use your map. I thought it was at the bottom of this huge bridge I was going down. Apparently I was mistaken. All right, we are here at the field. I have not yet committed to the other job. It's a much larger field. And we're going to want to check here. Round bale. So yeah, we could use the same baler with, you know, yeah, if you didn't know you could do that, we could take that, not renting equipment, do this one, then do that one. Of course, without turning this contract in. You would have to do this one, don't turn the contract in, then do that one, right? I'm just saying, don't accidentally forget and give away your equipment, right? Since they both take round bales, we could do both. All right, so let's get started. And one thing, I didn't think everything through. There's one thing I kind of forgot, I guess you could say. This unfolded. This tractor, oh, is this already unfolded? Okay. This tractor, one thing with round baling is you have to go back and forth a lot. And this tractor has notoriously long lag between shifting gears from reverse to drive. There's an add-on that I'm aware of. There's a mod somewhere I'm aware of that allows you to keep going, I think, with round bales. We're going to want that. Actually, there, I misspoke. The mod I'm referring to is on the mod hub. I just found it. It's called Round Baler Extension, and it doesn't allow you to keep moving, but what it does is it stops your vehicle for you to drop off the round bales so you can more easily and effectively do it without all all the time backing up. For now, I'm here with you guys in our video. I'm not gonna cut this and go do that, but doing all these bales in the future, I might want a mod that allows me to keep moving, because round bales, you know, if your tractor doesn't do good with reverse and forward changing direction, it can be pretty painful. The other field, you know, I swear it said it's right there, but that doesn't need baling, does it? I mean, obviously not, no. Let me look at that, because I swear it said this field right there. It does say that field. Interesting, because you can see it's not harvested yet. I bet, now I've never seen this. This is something new I've never seen. I bet if we were to accept that contract, whoop, that thing scared me. It started beeping. Let's turn on auto drop. Oh, my bad. Yeah, I hit the wrong control. I do have the mod for unload bales early. And, hang on. I don't have my help menu. That's auto drop. Okay. I hit the button for unload, not auto drop. My bad. What I was saying is, I've never seen this happen, but I bet that field right there, if we selected the contract, I bet it would instantly appear harvested and ready to bale. Yeah, I've never had that occasion, because baling contracts weren't a thing in FS22. I mean, I've got thousands of hours in FS22. Comparatively, FS25 is still relatively new, right? And I've not yet been in that situation. I bet that field would instantly become harvested so that we could bale it. Yeah. And yeah, if I were to bale that field, I think I would want a way to do this without having to back up. And I might even have to take us off auto drop, because this tractor is so hard to change direction. I might not be able to back up in time to... No, I can. Yeah, you know, this field here is plenty big. As I came around that corner and then I see the field kind of growing out this direction, I see this field here is plenty big. I'll probably, maybe, likely chicken out of the other one. But we got our farm, our homestead farm started here on Judith Plains, Montana. Tell me what you think in the comments down below about the challenge. I know that this episode I spent 90% of the time laying out rules and what we were doing and stuff like that, but I wanted to lay a good groundwork and basis for this type of play. So, and I hope it was entertaining. I tried to make it entertaining. I hope today's episode was entertaining, as I knew starting off, I had the rules designed. I knew what equipment I was using, but most of what you saw, I was figuring out as I went. I didn't have any plans really for how I was going to set up our farm. Obviously the contracts, you know, I didn't know what we were going to be doing, anything like that. This tractor is incredibly slow doing this, so I'm going to get to work on this. Thanks so much for tuning in, watching the video all the way to the end, guys. Be sure to leave your comments down below. I always read and reply to the comments. I'd be interested to see what you have to say. And yeah, if you want to try this challenge out yourself, let me know. I think it's really fun. I thought of it today, and I'm going to really enjoy playing through this here in this video series and see how this does. I'll catch you guys tomorrow in another video. Maybe Roadcraft, maybe American Truck Simulator, maybe Farming Simulator. I'll see you guys tomorrow, or maybe even later on today. Thanks a lot. Catch you guys next time. Peace out.